game is about to start. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us on another Tuesday. We'll be missing Carol this evening. She is excused absence at the park with, shout out, Dave Feldman, friend of the show. A bunch of news hounds. Sports.
Right. I've checked it out.
DC. We got the checker outer done.
Out.
All right. We're going to go kind of like a show style. We got the game on. We appreciate anyone hanging out with us live for this. We know that the game's also on. We're not going to pretend like it's not. Obviously, we can't do play-by-play. I think that would be breaking some law of some kind. But we'll do like play-by-play. Something like that.
Play-by-play of the action in the basement also.
The play-by-play of the play-by-play. All right, here we go. Thanks for being here on a Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Kevin Ricca.
Hey, thanks for having me. Big night in D.C. Bryce Harper back in town. Looks like everyone's starting off in a classy mode. So why don't we start off with a little class here ourselves, Ken, before it gets too late.
The Commodores. Well, we will start with class. That is one of our mottos. Start with class. The game's on. We're not going to act like it's not on. We're going to be watching it with you guys. This isn't going to be an exceptionally long show. This is an in-season Nat shift. There's only been 3 games. We will take the loss. Let's get that out of the way. First week of the Nat shift season 2 is an L because we're 1-2 after 3 games played. The good news is lots of good weeks coming up. I think the Nat shift weekly record is a big deal. It was great 2 years ago, but that was Nat scraps. Last year, not so much on the Nat shift. Got to come back, Kevin. The 3 games to cover. We don't do pitch by pitch. But there was some guys who did well, and there's some guys who didn't do so hot. And I just thought the one obvious thing from that series is, as a Nats fan, probably a fan of any team, like we've seen that loss, that Max Scherzer loss, too many times. We expect him to win every time. It's not like he takes bad beats constantly because he delivers the beatings mostly. But for him to get 4 or 5 of those a year, maybe over the last couple, maybe give or take, add 1 or 2 in a year when our bullpen wasn't that great. I mean, that was a tough one to swallow. Bat stayed silent, got shut out. That was the other thing. We got shut out right away out of the gate. I remember you and I last May, we took a halfway decent team. The Nat shift in this basement, took a halfway decent team into May, and we got shut out, 5 times?
Yeah, after Strauss got banged up a little bit, our 3 and 4 lost their marbles, and our bats went quiet, and it was brutal. It was a brutal stretch, but you know what? Opening day against the reigning Cy Young winner, the guy's a freak, and it was silly mistakes, stuff that we can get rid of, stuff that can be cured. Robles not running in. When you get him banged up a little bit, you got to take advantage of those opportunities. And instead, we made a little error on the base path, and we couldn't score with runners on first and third. You got to take care of that. You got
the
to
rookie
take care
error
of that scenario
on the base paths. I mean that you could say that's the difference in the game because it was 1-0. We get that run. It's a different ball.
It was
game.
a momentum killer, is what it was.
I hate that Max Scherzer goes into his second start 0-1. He did get the strikeouts. As far as DeGrom is concerned, we're going to see him a lot for a long time. And I think it's not that I've underestimated him, but I think I've probably underappreciated him, which I'm not going to appreciate many of our divisional rivals' players. He's ridiculous. He's a special.
Yeah.
With the hair, not so much. I was never afraid of him with the hair. With what he's got going on right now up here.
Do you like the ponytail? I'm just not a big ponytail guy, I feel like if you have to accessorize, that's just asking for too much.
I don't think a ponytail on a guy is ever a good plan.
Yeah.
Ever.
Listen, to each their own. We're not being judgmental here. We're just stating our specific thoughts. I'm not a big ponytail type guy. I'm just not.
How long do you think? I mean, DeGrom wasn't rocking the ponytail in opening day.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But like,
They had like a little scenario, but when they showed the camera angle from center field, there was a rubber band in that.
But not like
lock.
when I think ponytail, I think I'm talking like down in the middle
was like
of the
a
back.
man bun ponytail tuck-in scenario. I mean, if you're gonna tuck something in, it better be on Oregon Avenue, and it better be at 8 in the morning, and you better be in your teens.
Correct. Yeah. 1 and 2, we have the first Nat shift week. Anyways, stats for you. Our guy Trey Turner, who currently leads the team in home runs with 2, had them both in one game, and one was awesome.
He was awesome. He came ready to play. He hadn't played in too long. The kid loves the game. I love watching him play. I thought he had a very good season last year, but you could tell he was scratching it. He never got on top of that mountain. What a hell of a start for him. I mean, 5 for 13, so he's already hitting 385, but those 2 home runs were so important to get us going, and what a devastating loss that would have been to get swept by the Mets at home.
Can't get swept by the Mets.
No.
The manner in which we lost the opener, Max to DeGrom, I think in the long run will be kind of equaled out by a walk-off homer from Trey Turner. He also is tied for the lead in hits on the team with our man, Victor Robles, who is quietly 455 batting average after
5 for 11
3 games.
out of the guy hitting ninth. I mean, that's a pretty nasty 9-1-2 after the pitcher makes the third out. I really like how that's working. We were talking about that a little bit beforehand, especially when Trey's got 4 stolen bases in the 3-game series. I mean,
that's the
4 runs, 4 stolen bases, 4 RBIs, 2 home runs. Trey Turner was the man this weekend. He's going to have a great season. He's going to have a great year. Keep him healthy. Those guys are flying around those base paths. We get them on, it's going to be ridiculous. We're not there yet. I see you looking over my shoulder. We're not there yet for the.
We got Rice on deck. Of course, the Phillies got a leadoff single. I think the Trey Turner action. So there's this home run derby that I got sucked into this year because I just love these kinds of games. You get 7 players. There's like 100 guys. They give you numbers, a home run expected output. You pick a roster of 7 guys, and every home run over that number is a point for you. But if they don't get it, you don't get it. Yeah. So they got to get their number, and then
so it's not a negative point. You just don't start accruing points until you get to that.
Until they get to their number. So Trey Turner was his number was 7, and I try to tell people. Or 7 or 11, either way, there's no way he shouldn't be considered someone who can hit at least 20 to 25 home runs.
That's brutal.
So Bryce Harper is up, mishandled a rainy, wet ball in the infield. Dozier couldn't get to it, and Bryce Harper comes up his first time against the Nats with 2 men on. Does this ball find him in the middle of the back? I mean, you can't beat him now.
You can't hit him in the ass now.
You can't
I
put
don't
him
think
on.
we were gonna. No, we stepped up and showed our class. I didn't think we should. I just said that would be pretty sweet. Wouldn't that be a funny ass story if Max just went up there and said, you know what?
The game demands it.
Let's start this robbery off with a plunk in the rear, but a triple play sounds nice. I'm calling it.
One pitch, he's gonna step off the mound.
Listen, Max Scherzer is playing chess here, and he knows exactly. He thought about this at bat. He knew he was going to get up there. He was going to step off. He was going to let the reaction happen.
Let
some
rain
pour down a little bit. You're talking about the master on the mound. I mean, this is pretty sick.
I hope you have the opportunity to watch this along with us. He's going to put a strike in there on the outside corner. Trey Turner, if he plays another 162, I think you start to look at him again, a guy that the organization brought in at a young age, and he's ours. We didn't draft him, but we did trade for him. Mm-hmm. We developed him. He's at the top of our lineup. He has 12 total bases, which leads Victor Robles, who has 11 total bases. And, Anthony Rendon makes the team leader list with his on-base percentage of 462. Again, another guy that we're going to count on, another guy with great hair. See, that's the hair you want. The team picture, now it's all clean and tight, but thankfully on ESPN, they've preserved the Jerry curl down just below the shoulders look for Anthony Rendon.
That S curl was nice there for a minute. He was letting that soul glow.
Soul glow.
Oh,
You beat me to it. It was straight soul glow, and he looks way better than DeGrom on his worst day. With 2 strikes, Max Scherzer tries to challenge Bryce inside, and he fouls it off at 97.
97 in the first inning. You don't think this guy wants this out badly? Oh man, it's kind of sucks for Nats fans. Now you're looking at this. We did not anticipate seeing this matchup.
No, ever.
April 2nd, 2019, or ever.
Yeah,
or anywhere in
between.
between.
There was a time when it was never. Obviously,
we certainly didn't.
First 11 games of the season, NL East, both all Mets and Phillies, and counting even to 2-2. Juan Soto not in your team leader list. He's 3 for 12. He has a pair of RBIs, I believe, and 4 total bases. He's got a stolen base, but the number on him, I think he does actually lead the team
in strikeouts. Yeah, he has 7, and that's not like him. That's not like him. That's not like him last year. Obviously, one series doesn't create too much chaos for me, but it's just not like him to have 1 walk. He was a master of. That was the best part about him, is understanding the strike zone. I think a guy like that gets so juiced up in his first opening day, his first home series. He kind of came in, in the middle of all this, and has surprised the hell out of everyone last year. Now, with all these expectations showing up for opening day, I'm sure he had the weight of the world on his shoulders, but I'm also sure he will straighten that out in no time. He
absolutely will. I thought the count filled up, but I guess it's still 2-2. Scherzer versus Bryce. Juan Soto can't be a strikeout guy. If Juan Soto was a strikeout guy, like Max Scherzer,
there we have it.
Just struck out Bryce Harper, and the crowd goes crazy.
That felt good. If it was 3-0 and Bryce Harper was driving on the base pass right now, I'd want to puke live on YouTube at this moment.
And there's other YouTube channels where that's all that happens.
Right.
I hope that you stay here. Juan Soto can't strike out because Juan Soto is not going to see a lot of strikes. So if Juan Soto has a high strikeout number, it's because he's swinging and missing, which is a problem for me. I don't think we're going to read too much into it. But that he can't be if his strikeout number is high. That's a terrible sign because no one's pitching to him.
No, we're not reading into it. But what has to change is Zim going 2 for 12 and Dozier going 0 for 10. That's 2 for 22. You're right. When 5 and 6 slots are going 2 for 22 in a series, Juan Soto's not going to see a damn thing. And it's going to get him a little edgy, a little jumpy, and he's going to start chasing for something, trying to make something happen. It's obvious. The kid's 20, so we need the veterans right there to step up their production after that first series.
Yeah, Matt Adamson's in it first tonight to get maybe a little spark there.
He's 0 for 3 pinch hitting.
Yep,
but he'll be fine. He's a professional hitter, and I love watching him at the plate. You always get a feeling something's going to happen with that big lefty up there.
Let's talk about what we got coming up. We're not going to belabor a show based on 3 games. We appreciate you giving us any time you have tonight while this game's going on. Let's lay out the rest of the week until we see each other again, I should say, next Tuesday night, because it's going to be all the same teams you've already watched. Believe we go 2-set against Philadelphia before we hit the road on Thursday. 3 games against the New York Mets, all afternoon games. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, all 1:10. Strasburg, Corbin, Scherzer are your 3 in New York, followed by a 3-game set in Philadelphia, which is where we will pick you guys up again next Tuesday night. Annabelle, Strasburg, and Hellickson. Is that going to be Hellickson's first go of the season?
Yes, he's had a little weird start. He's essentially been the long reliever up until that point because of the way there's 3 days off and getting Max back in here in the rotation. Matt Adams just went WWF Raw, flat-backed. He took about a 7-8 foot drop onto his back, got up blowing bubbles, but that couldn't have felt good.
Did he make the catch?
No. Watch. This is nasty. This is a big burly man, and
and in the cold rain.
Yeah.
So he might be able to shake that off for the next few minutes with an Advil, but when he wakes up tomorrow morning, he's going to be feeling all of that,
in the camera bay with no one to help catch the let down. He went flat back onto the hard, wet concrete. Yeah, you're right. It's a tough one to shake off. At my age right now, I'm probably out for the month.
I'm out for a month just seeing that happen.
I know. I'm going to take a sip of this whiskey and make myself feel better. Speaking of making myself feel better, Ken, I do believe on the Sunday night broadcast, old dumbass took a shot at Washington, D.C.
All right, yeah. Every show tonight, we're going to bring it up.
I think so.
Every show tonight, because A-Rod is what decided to go at the heart of First Amendment sports motto and mission, which is very simple. We believe D.C. is a great sports town. Period. End of story. That's our elevator pitch. We think D.C. is a great sports town.
We've lived it.
We think it's great. We've lived it. We have plenty of we provide a weekly dose of why that's true. I think even when our teams aren't playing for titles, all the way down to the high school level. So A-Rod, that's just this is what I have a hard time with. Like you know, people just get a microphone in front of them and they just start thinking they could say whatever pops into their head. That doesn't even work in basements.
Yeah, no, it was very odd. But like you
personal.
said, we're gonna mention this all night, and I'm gonna every single time say there was no better guy to say something like that. No better guy, because this guy's been a cheat his whole entire life, not just in the sport of baseball, multiple times at his home life. Don't want to get too personal, but it's obvious. It's out there.
Yeah.
He's cheated there too.
Yep.
He's cheated on the field. He's cheated off the field. I mean, he's a straight up cheat. The guy's got two portraits of himself painted as a centaur above his damn bed. This guy takes his shirt off in Central Park with some tight blue jeans on. Like, this is the guy we want making judgments about our city, about our sports city.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious. He's not doesn't really have a great taste, and his judgment in years past has been horrific. Aside from Madonna dumping his ass when she was 50 and he was 30 for a 21-year-old DJ, I mean, it's the only time that he could say he was embarrassed. I'm so done with everyone making a big deal of this because A-Rod's a joke. He's a clown show.
No credibility.
So if anyone wants to make that statement and rile up DC, I'm glad it was him. Because when you take a look at it, it doesn't even feel bad coming from that schmuck.
It doesn't. I mean, obviously Stephen A. Smith is another guy who's taking shots at DC in general. It's not all the time that you find. I mean, people aren't going out of their way to call out DC as a sports town unless you're playing them that week, and you're from another city and you want to try to throw a little heat. But that kind of came out of nowhere, especially given who it was, and it didn't make sense even the way that he used it. To be honest with you, I mean, it's not like Bryce Harper's from DC. Bryce Harper's from Las Vegas, the most least sports town of all sports towns in this country. Their heart and soul is a whole lot different. Doesn't belong in any pitch or diamond or hardwood just quite yet. It might, when the football gets there and hockey, revs up. Their hockey team, which by the way just lost to Washington, if we want to tie that knot. So it just doesn't. There's nothing about it rings super true. And I was like you. I didn't get fired up about hearing him say that. I got fired up when people started talking about it.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing that it was said by someone like that other people would take notice and then follow. You know what? We've lived it. We've been here. We understand how it works on Monday and the way that the city pops when the Skins have won on that Sunday. And I get it. We haven't been tremendously, but we got to stop acting like we've been at the bottom of the barrel. We've been average for the last few years. Yeah. Sorry. That sucks too. But stop taking shots at us, A-Rod. And you talk about politics. What are you even, seriously, get out of here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a very transient city.
He wishes he knew politics like we knew politics.
Exactly, but the people that are from here, the people that live here, the diehards, the people that are listening and watching right now, they all want him to shove it up his A-Rod. And if Stephen A. Smith, I will guarantee First Amendment Sports will pay $1,000 to the person who gets video of Stephen A. Smith at a DC sporting event. You got to give him a wedgie and pull the underwear over his head. $1,000.
That is a true story.
$1,000 because he's not even worth a punch to the stomach or to the face. It's not even. He's just
wedgie style.
He's just a little guy,
maybe
with a big mouth, and we all know how that goes.
Yeah,
so.
he sure is. Well,
yeah, over the head.
Yeah, all the way over.
A rip in the. I imagine there's some disgusting, trendy pair of underwear, but I just want them ripped.
There can be some expensive,
over the head and ripped.
Expensive underwear.
$1,000, a cool $1,000.
There it is. The Nat shift on a rainy Tuesday night. Max Scherzer gets out of the bottom of the first with no damage, leaving two Phillies on the bags. Coming out of the bullpen, hopefully to give us a little bit of early offense against Eflin.
And a K next to Harper in the books. That was special.
We'll be back in 1 week from tonight, hopefully with some good stories to tell on our road trip that begins in New York, and we'll be in Philadelphia next time we talk. Kevin Ricka?
Can't wait to watch the rest of this. Thanks for joining us tonight. Can't wait to do this for the rest of the season. Really important night tonight. I really want to see these matchups 2 and 3. I'd love to see Scherzer come on top with an 0 for 3 for Bryce in the books and a W for the Nats. Thanks for checking us out, and don't forget about that $1,000, and it goes for A-Rod as well. Forgot to mention that.
It does. It is. It's 2. We'll just leave it at that. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was the Nat Shift. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Man, that was big time to start that inning. All of a sudden, it was getting dicey. I could feel it.